All right, welcome. Just some comments regarding Saturday before we move on to Wisconsin. Just really disappointing loss for our team. Really very disappointed with the way we played in special teams. Felt like that was something that really let our team down and has been one of our strengths in many areas. And to give up a block punt like we did at a critical time, which there's never a good time, and then to get a score right off of that when we had an early lead, had an offensive turnover that led to their first score, and then just had a chance to really get momentum and really set the tone for that whole first quarter, and did not do that. And so just really, because we look at the big picture of it, you play really well offensively and did a lot of great things. Definitely a very strong performance to win the game on that side of the ball, and defensively played well across the board, except for some couple big plays that we can't give up. And disappointed that we gave those up, and that ended up being the difference. But the long kickoff return, the blocked extra point, some kicks out of bounds, just a short punt once, just multiple things in our special teams that we take a lot of pride in, and it's just unacceptable, And so you don't win on the road when you make those kind of mistakes. And so, and all that being said, you got a chance with the ball at the end to go score to win the game, kick a field goal to tie it, or score to get the win. So, as is always the case, you have to focus on the things that you control now, which is the way you respond. And had a really good meeting with our team. Obviously, they were hurting and disappointed on Sunday as well, and as they should be. But we got strong leadership on our team, and thought we had a really good practice last night to get ourselves refocused to wrap up the game. Just really proud of some offensive guys that stepped up in a huge way. Had 3 receivers with 10 catches for the first time in program history, and one of those being Whop Philyor, who was the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, and named that today. He had 13 catches, which is a new freshman record. And the thing I love about him is he was really upset about the 14th one that he didn't get, that he on that last drive, and was really took that one hard. And same with Luke Timmy, and Simi had to drop there, but they all had a lot of great plays, and they played hard and played long. And Wop's playing on special teams and so many reps. We have a mileage tracker, and the guy ran like 5 miles during the game, So just really proud of his effort and toughness, all those guys, and guys up front working hard and overcoming injuries, and Peyton getting dinged up and coming back and dinged up and just fighting and clawing and threw for 67% was his percentage, almost 300 yards. And Rich coming in and giving us a touchdown drive and then trying to get another one, and thought he did some really good things. So, just proud of those guys, and the way that they executed. So really they've been scrutinized here recently, and then for them to bounce back and play that well was what we needed. We just unfortunately didn't have a whole team play to their standard, and that's unfortunate. As far as the game goes, because of that, Simi, Cobbs, Luke Timian, and Whop were all the offensive players of the game. Nate Hoff was the defensive player of the game. Just continues to be very, very consistent, tough, physical. Just love his demeanor that he brings every day, and it shows. And Isaac James on special teams has just really stepped up his coverage and ability to help us in all those specialist areas. So proud of his attitude and effort each and every day. As we move here into this next week, want to congratulate Ken Kazmarek on his induction in the Hall of Fame as a linebacker here, and a great player. Awesome person. I've enjoyed getting to know him and meet him. And Ernie Jones, a guy who I don't personally know, but know he was a great player here as a wide receiver. So they'll be inducted this weekend, recognized at the game in the Indiana Athletic Hall of Fame. So tremendous career here and legacy that they've left, and continue to give back to our program and support us. Also going to be salute to service game. We'll be wearing special decals in honor of our servicemen and women across the country and all that they do for all of us here, and the freedom that we have and that we often take for granted. So appreciate them, and just want to continue to reiterate that the fight of this football team and of our staff, and opportunity to welcome Wisconsin number 4th ranked team in the country. You know, we're the only team in the nation to play 3 top 5 teams this season, and that's just the fact of our season. And we have a great opportunity this Saturday to play a great football team, top 5 defense coming into town with Wisconsin, and a big-time running attack, you know, with several quality running backs and tight ends and receivers, and a very good football team that we're going to play that's undefeated. And really excited to see our team respond with the toughness and the grit and the mindset we have to play in this league, and especially to bounce back from a game where you feel like you had, you know, you look at all the different stats, and stats don't really matter, but did so many great things and just didn't get the job done. So to be able to respond from that and to be able to pull together as a team and to work through the challenges of this part of the season with injuries and all that goes along with it, to be able to come together and to do something special for each other. So that's what we plan to do. Questions?
He had to come out a couple times, 3 times, just because of different hits he took and things. At any point, do you get worried about maybe the buildup of the physicality that he's kind of having to deal with? And does Rich's play and his absence on Saturday maybe make you rethink those two together, kind of that quarterback role?
Well, you know, I'd say first of all, you know, we're going to, you know, Peyton right now left the game, and so he's day-to-day right now to see what will happen this weekend. So, but he's rehabbing to get himself squared away. But yeah, you know, he's taking some hits, and he just has that style of play, and but just amazingly tough kid. But Richards was ready to go on Saturday. He's going to have to be ready to go this week as well. So we'll get both guys ready, and we'll see where we're at later in the week. But yeah, he's just and you see it across the country. Quarterbacks, you know, take hits, and that's why you have to have a couple of them, and more than that. And so we'll always trying to find everything we can do to give our team the best chance to win. And so whoever that is, that's who it's going to be.
Tom, with all the with all the injuries, have you ever coached anything like this? And is there any type of common denominator? Is it bad luck? Is it just?
Yeah, I've never had this many injuries. You know, just on that note, just very disappointed to have to announce that Ja'Shawn Harris is out for the season with a torn ACL. So really heartbreaks for him. You know, it's his 3rd one. You know, and the kid's been an absolute warrior to come back from the first 2. And my heart breaks for him, you know, because he's just overcome so much. And but no, I haven't seen this many. You know, you go back and you evaluate, and there have been so many different kinds. You know, Donovan Hale is probably out for the season. I mean, I would probably just go ahead and just assume that's not. It's getting so late now that where we're not expecting him back. You know, with after he had his surgery on his knee, so it was not an ACL, but just not one he looks like he's going to be able to recover from. So you know, you have different kinds of injuries, and you know, sometimes it's just cards just aren't stacked your way, you know. So, but, you know, we don't dwell on that, and I don't dwell on that. Hope to get some guys back. You know, probably lost a couple more guys, you know, just because of the nature of the game this past weekend, and you know, it's part of it, it's part of football, and other guys have to step up. But yeah, it's an excessively large number. I've not seen anything like it.
Did you sense anything in your defense after you guys got the 14-0 lead? Was there any loss of focus, or because they just didn't look the same as they?
I totally agree. Matter of fact, that was a huge part of our discussion, trying to figure out what was missing. And you know, obviously you don't know for sure, but what I think it was I think we had a mental letdown. You know, I think it was, you know, we got a pick the second play of the game. Our offense had just gone down and scored, and in a methodical way, and we're up 14-0, and that really frustrates me that we didn't have enough maturity. And you sense a little bit of that. You try to, as a coach, you just continue to coach hard and just, you know. But for whatever reason, it's the only way I could kind of explain it was we kind of had an emotional let up, and then when they punched back, you know, we didn't have a counter punch. Not to the same. It wasn't that we were completely just flat, but I agree with you. We didn't have the same sense of urgency, or, you know, as I call it, playing with a fever pitch. You got to play at a fever pitch, you know, I think, every snap to be great. And we're one of those teams where we don't have the luxury. We can't, with both depth and just, we can't, we've got to play up here. And we play up here, we're a certain level. And when we don't, there's a substantial drop-off, especially when you match it up against their speed. And they have some legit, we knew it. Number one, he's a special player now. I mean, he made some phenomenal catches, but that doesn't, we have to match that. And just if it's just a little bit off, it's a step here, it's a step there. So, man, I really, that would be our assessment, was that, what, we just had a little bit, hey, this is going to just keep rolling. And you can't think that way. You got to know it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a 60-minute battle every time you take the field. And it might have been just enough to throw us off. I don't know, but that seemed to be what we, as a staff, defensively felt happen.
Not to just keep asking about injuries, but guys like Ian, I think Mike and Morgan didn't make the trip, and then Ian, it seemed like he was kind of in for a little while and then back out. I mean, are those?
Yeah, you just hope that Ian can continue to progress. We got him in some. He played about 20 snaps or so, and still just getting him back. So he just certain things he can and can't do. So hopefully a week of rehab will help him be stronger and better. And Morgan is still rehabbing. I'd love to get him back. Don't know for sure yet if that's going to happen. We'll know more here in a few days. And don't think Mike will be ready yet, but he should hopefully be ready soon. And just try to get as many guys back as we can. And got a lot of question marks on guys. We won't know here until we start getting into the week heavy in our preparation. So, but the next guy has to step up and be ready to compete and perform at a high level. Thought he did a lot of great things. He had a touchdown on that catch, and ran the ball hard and picked up his blitzes well as overall. And so solid performance by him. I was happy for him to be able to get an opportunity, and he took advantage of it. He needs to. We got to have guys like him step up, without question.
The physicality of Wisconsin's offense, they've been known for that, but has it gotten better during the course of the season?
Yeah, I mean, when you put the tape in, it's what you expect to see from them. It's 3 tight ends at times, 2 tight ends most of the time, and I formation and honk it right at you, So that's what they do, and they give you lots of looks, and they don't make mistakes, and they protect the football well. They got just a stable of running backs, just keep rotating them in, and they just pound you, and they try to beat you into submission, in the course of a game. And then they play great defense matched up with it. Right now they're ranked 5th in the country defensively. So pretty good combination, ball control, eat the clock, and then you try to limit your possessions by that style of offense, and then play really good defense, very stingy against the run, and big physical guys, very well coached. Coach Leonard does a great job. He's a young coach, and doesn't coach with a lot of youth. He's very, very good on that side of the ball. So great staff, and I've coached against Coach Chris in the past when he was at Pitt and I was at another school. So they do what they do extremely well.
Maryland used an unbalanced line against you. Does Wisconsin try to do that with their tight ends?
They will. Yeah, we call it FSL when they get the formation straight to the sideline. And so, yeah, I expect them to do that. That's kind of what they do, So we'll find out on Saturday. But, yeah, that's part of their strategy, I'm sure.
And since signing day and kind of coming into the season, it sounds like you had high hopes for once you get healthy. But just what made Saturday's performance in your mind so good for him?
Well, he came into fall camp and got injured, so he really got off to a slow start. We even had thoughts about, hey, we may have to redshirt him because he just wasn't able to get healthy. And then you lose all those reps, because he's not here in the spring, and you're just behind, And so he didn't know the offense. But then it just kind of has slowly, really what I saw Saturday is what I really expected to see out of him this season. And he just has, first of all, he has an unbelievable energy level. He can we call him Energizer Bunny. I mean, he just keeps going and going and doesn't seem to get tired, and I've seen that in the past when he was in high school and played both ways and just ran all over the field and never seemed to there was never a drop off, so some guys have that ability and some guys don't. And then now that he's learned what he's doing, his confidence level has increased highly in the area of his execution, just because he knows where he's supposed to be and the routes where the ball's coming. So just he's been able to get open. He has that ability to separate, and he can put his foot in the ground and change direction, or he gave him that little fly sweep and he hits it and goes and try and get him the football, And so that's, I thought he was going to be one of our better players, and it's proven to be true. It just took a little time.
After the block punt, I noticed you guys kept Hayden pretty much stationary, more traditional, kicking without the rollout. Is that because of that?
Well, we were just concerned. Yeah, we couldn't get another one, and so just modified that. But it was really, it was a mistake by one person missing their block, So, but we have the ability to change that launch point, and I wanted to make sure we took advantage of that. But yeah, that was, we just wanted to make sure we were getting the ball off and getting it, no more blocks. Those should never happen, and it's completely unacceptable.
On the long kick return, was it a similar issue to what happened at Penn State, where guys kind of got a little bit out of their lanes?
Yeah, we unfortunately, and I hate to, when you have the injuries we've had, you get a lot of young guys that have to play special teams, and guys get fatigued, and we had some guys subbed in there, but there's no excuse. You got to execute. We had two guys out of their lanes. Their number 6 was their guy. And if you notice, we never kicked the ball to him, and so we kicked it to the person we wanted to kick it to, and didn't stay in our lane and got out of it and created a big crease. And I had a chance to get him tackled on 15 and missed that tackle. And then with the two guys out of position, right where they would have been running, it created the issue. And our backside safety was too tight. So he ended up catching him, but, on the 80-yard return. So just once again, have to fix it, So we're making some changes there with some personnel and some, a couple adjustments with scheme, and we're going to get special teams right, because that's, to me, that's the one area we've got to have the advantage. We're just, in order to keep everything, to give us a chance, we have to be really good on special teams in order to allow us to win football games, especially on the road. So yeah, that was another bad deal. They ended up scoring off that play.
Probably address some of it there, but you kind of go from like a couple weeks, like Michigan punting seemed really good, field goals were good, Michigan State obviously a really strong special teams day, then just kind of such a sharp swing in the other direction. Can you attribute that to any one thing? Does it?
Hard to say one thing, because there's 3 different special teams that I felt like let us down. Even just the PAT field goal protection was not what it needed to be, and so the block punt, was really, we haven't had one of those, and have been doing a great job on that. And so, but it's just like anything else. That's why it's so important. We talk about you got to be at your best when it counts the most on special teams, because you get so few opportunities, and everybody must do their job. One guy doesn't do his job, and everything breaks down. And that's the case on most things that you do. So everybody's got to trust the guys around to do their job. The punter's got to trust that the guy's going to do his job to block his man, and we wouldn't be having this discussion. But it happened. So unfortunately, sometimes the guy misses on that, and you still get it off, and no one really knows much. You may see it on film, you get it corrected, but it doesn't have that effect. But and then the kickoff cover, that's obviously the second time we've had a breakdown. So we've changed personnel. We're going to make some more adjustments, try to get the right guys on there at the right time, critical points in the game. If you notice, the last time we kicked off, we put in several defensive starters on there. They've already played a bunch of snaps, but we said, hey, this is a critical cover, and we put them on there for that. And so we're going to have to do some more of that for sure, but it just becomes the numbers and running out of guys, and law of diminishing returns on just guys being able to stay fresh in the game. So we got to have these young guys still got to keep bringing them along. Work more on it this week. It's a point of emphasis. Worked on it last night. Worked on the fits in last night's practice. So it's a constant effort to correct and get it right, and that's what we're going to do.
Talk about Tony Fields. Obviously, made the switch over to the Husky, and think it was Penn State was his first game, kind of got picked on a little bit, but since then it seems like he's played at a pretty high level.
He has, he got the pick early. They were testing him right out of the gate with one of their fast receivers that's really talented, and he, he made him pay for that, and he's just been excellent, really. So consistent, really has become even more of a verbal leader, on our team as a senior, and just really encouraged by his play, because when Leno went down, that was a huge loss for us, and obviously still don't have him back, and so Tony's filled a huge void for us there, and has consistently played at a high level, and is going to have to do that there for the rest of the regular season. So really proud of Tony Fields and the way he's performed.